on, but just to get back on. Hey everyone, my name is Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I have part 2 of my June haul. If you want to see part 1, I will link it down below. If you watch my part 1 video, you'll know that I bought quite a few books. I bought 15 books from a secondhand shop, but there was a deal, so I couldn't pass it up. Besides those 15 books, I really only bought 8 books total. And again, most of them I got for cheap or from a gift card because I graduated high school, so I had money and gift cards, so that was helpful. So let's get right to it. So these first 3 books are books that I actually bought on Memorial Day, which feels like forever ago. There was a sale at the other secondhand shop in my town called Savers, and they had a Memorial Day half-off sale. And so we went to it, and I was hoping to get some books, and then I realized that they weren't half off, the books weren't half off, and that was kind of sad. But I still got 3 books because they were cheap and I wanted to get them. So the first one I have is The Angel Experiment by James Patterson. This is book 1 of the Maximum Ride series. I'd like to reread this series just to kind of remember what happens. If you don't know anything about Maximum Ride, it's about this group of kids who end up having 2% avian DNA, so they have wings, and they find out they have other powers as well. But the first 3 books are decent, and then the series just goes way downhill and just gets really weird and not good. There's a movie of the first one, but I've heard that the movie was really awful. If you guys watch Pierre Ford's channel at all, she has a booktube channel. She also does a Maximum Ride web series. And so I kind of refound my, not love necessarily, but my enjoyment of the series from watching her mini-series of her fan films. They're just little scenes here and there from the different books. And so I encourage you to go check out her channel. She's so funny. I love her. But anyways, Maximum Ride, yeah. I would like to reread, and I want to own at least the first 3 books. The second book I have here is one that I read for school actually and really enjoyed it, which is strange. But it is The Martian by Andy Weir. This was made into a movie a couple years ago and it is so funny, both the movie and the book. The narrator of Mark Watney is so hilarious. He has such a sense of humor and just manages to find the bright side of a lot of terrible situations that he finds himself in. So this is about a guy named Mark Watney, and he accidentally is left on Mars. He's with a team, and there's a sandstorm, and he gets separated from his team. And so the rest of the team, thinks he's dead, and so they have to leave Mars. And so he ends up being stuck on Mars, and their trip was only supposed to be a month, and he has to try and last 3 years or something like that. And so there's a lot of science and explanations involved in this book, but most of it is not too bad, and I kind of skimmed over those parts honestly when I read it. But I enjoyed this a lot. It's super funny, and I love it so much, so I really wanted to own it, and I found it at Savers, and I was like, yes please. And the third book I got from Savers was Out of Sight, Out of Time by Allie Carter. This is book 4 in the Gallagher Girls series by Allie Carter. This is a series about these girls who go to a school for spies. To the outside world, it's like this preppy, girly school, kind of a finishing school almost, is kind of what it sounds like to me. But on the inside, they're actually training to be spies. And this is such a fun series. The first book is kind of a lot younger. It starts when they're 12 or 13, and so the big problem in that book is that the main character, Cammie, goes outside and gets a crush on this guy named Josh who has no idea about this school. But as the stories progress, they get more and more darker, and a lot more action happens and a lot more intrigue and just all sorts of cool stuff. The one thing I will say about this copy in particular is, I don't know if you can see it, but they put 4 book on it, or book 4, and that makes me upset because there's Sharpie on my book now, and that's just upsetting. But this is actually book 5. This can't be book 4. This is book 5. So they even did it wrong. I was just looking. I have the rest of the series here. book 1, 2, 3, 4. This is book 5, so they even did it wrong. So that's upsetting. But I only need book 6, and then I'll have the whole series. Just a really fun series to read. Now the next book I have, I actually got the day after I got June 1st, because it was my first day of no school for the summer. I was graduating that night, and I had nothing to do, and I was like, I just want to go to Savers and find more books. And I only found one, but that is The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. If you know anything about the Harry Potter series, this is a fairy tale collection of wizarding fairy tales. We might possibly have this, like my mom might have it, but I don't own my own copy, and I own the originals of Fantastic Beasts and Quidditch Through the Ages, so I figured I might as well finish my collection. I am interested in getting like the new series, or the new copies that look so gorgeous. I'll try and insert a picture here, but for now I just have all 3 of them. And these last 4 books that I bought, besides the 15 that I bought from Hope Gospel, which are in my part 1 haul, I got at Books A Million because I had $20 in a gift card, and I had to return a Funko Pop that somebody had gotten me for graduation, but that I already had. So I had some money to spend at BAM, and I thought I might as well. So the first book I have here is Redeemed by Margaret Peterson Haddix. This is book 8 in the Missing series. This is the final book in the series. And I actually have not read it. I've only read through like book 4 or 5, but I quite enjoyed this series. The series is about these kids who find out that they are actually long lost children from history, and so the main character has to go and help return them back to history and try and put them back where they're supposed to be. I have like 5 of them on my shelf. They're right behind me, but I did not have this one, and I am interested in eventually rereading the first couple books and then reading this book. The next book I have is Day 21, which is book 2 of the 100 series by Cass Morgan. Now, I've been obsessed with this TV show and this book series. I have book 3, Homecoming, which was in my last haul, and I saw this was on sale for $5 at BAM, and I was like, yes, I will get it. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I've had stuff about the 100 in my last couple of videos, but this is essentially a sci-fi series, a sci-fi dystopian, I don't know what you would describe it as, but it's about people who live in space because the Earth has been covered by radiation, and then eventually they send 100 delinquent kids down to Earth to see if it's survivable. The show and the books are so good. I actually have gotten my friend into watching the show, and so she's in season 2 now, and I finished season 4, and oh my goodness, it's great. So, anyways, I wanted to own the series. Eventually, I will get the whole thing, but for now, I have books 2 and 3. The third book that I got at BAM is Happily Ever After by Kira Cass. This is a companion to the Selection series. Now, I've not actually read these. This is a little bit like The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, which is, it's a collection of short novellas that have to do with this series. Hers is a prequel. This one is kind of takes place in between, I think, the books. So the Selection series, I really liked the first 3 books, and then I read the 4th book, which is about America's daughter, and she was a very unlikable character, and I realized then that I don't really like unlikable characters. So I think that I've read book 5, but the main trilogy of the Selection series is really good, and so I'm excited to have this. I haven't read it yet, but I know that it's going to be pretty cool. And the last book that I have for my June haul is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Now I was a little bit nervous to buy it because, as I've said before, I don't really like buying books that I haven't read. I like knowing that I really like the book and enjoy it, and then I'll buy it. I would much prefer to like take things out of the library just in case if I don't like it, because then I'm not spending money on things that I might not like. But I bought this one with my gift card money, and I'm so glad that I did. This book was amazing. This is like, it's a sci-fi book about this boy and this girl who broke up a few hours before their world ends, and so like this corporation kind of bombs their planet, and so then the boy and the girl are separated onto different ships, and they kind of communicate and have to figure out what's going on from there. But the way that this story is told is so unique. It's really interesting. So it's told with transcripts of interviews, of instant messaging. It's got like all sorts of stuff. And I love it because they like block out all of the swear words because like this corporation who's putting it together asked them to. And so it's really, really neat, and I'm so excited to read the second one. I'm going to go request it from the library right after I film this video. And also the dust jacket is cool enough. Like, this just looks cool. And right here it says first survive, then tell the truth. But then if you lift the dust jacket off, it's got like stuff from the actual book. Even on the back too, it's got quotes from the book and just like little writings, and it's just so cool. I love this book so freaking much. So yeah, if you've ever considered reading this book, just do it. Just go read this book. It is so good. And I think it's one of my new favorites, honestly. This is, it was just so good. So that is it. That is the rest of the books that I bought in June. Thank you so much for watching. If you have read any of these books or want to talk about them, please leave some comments, and I would love to chat about these books. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!